second deck that everyone should have is the strengths deck. So what are your strengths? And honestly, the best thing to do is figure out what they are and then get other people to do everything else you're bad at. Do not try and get better at the bad stuff. Just delegate it. AI to do it. Anything, don't do it yourself. That's just going to suck your soul dry, right? And the third deck is an emotions deck. Because if you have a standard male vocabulary, hey, Vern, how you feeling? I bet the answer's fine, right?
Yeah,
I'm being funny, right? But
it's okay.
fine is not an emotion. Fine is a blocking tactic. I don't want to talk about it, right? If you can develop a much larger vocabulary of the emotions, how are you feeling? Excited, nervous, stressed, angry, frustrated, blocked, whatever it is. And then also you can say, how I feel that in my body is I can feel it here or on my chest or wherever it is. We all feel things differently, right? But being able to name what you're feeling, if you can name the feeling because of how it's located, and you can say, oh, now I realize why I'm feeling that, I can do something about it, right? And if at the end of every day, because you know your values, you can say to yourself, did I live today in accordance with my values? Yes or no. If it's a hell, you're going to sleep like a baby. But if you are, I shouldn't have done these three things today because they really jammed with what I value. And I've got to go and do the same old crap tomorrow because I haven't had the courage to say, no, I don't want to do this. You are heading on a downward slope towards, you're accumulating minus mental wellness points, and where you end up is up to you, right? But if you live true, if you're fully equipped with understanding this machine that we live in is signals and data everywhere, right? So if you understand what are the incoming signals, you can align the signals to your values, do your strengths, delegate your weaknesses. This is like, honestly, this sounds stupid, but this is stuff they should have taught us at school.
Yeah,
I didn't get this. I didn't know
before.
this.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so this is why I'm so passionate about card decks. These are the simplest, basicest card decks. They're just choice lists. A values deck has got 60 words, one on each card. The strengths deck the same, and an emotions deck the same. There's only so many emotions.
And I think also, like what I realized is that, for example, I have one of my favorites is Purpose Anatomy, right? And it's one that I reviewed a while back. It's from the Netherlands. But the thing is, I used it at some point when I started my own little business, and it really helped me kind of shape like what is my purpose. And then as I evolved and I went on this Swiss adventure, and at some point, like I had to revisit that because I started having questions around like tough times here. What do we need to do here? And then one of my colleagues said to me, but Vander, maybe you need to grab that deck again and look at it. So it was also kind of interesting to see what did it look like back then, and then what do I actually align with now. And I think the decks that you've described, or this process, is the same, right? This is how it evolves over time, and what becomes more important for you. Are you?
No, totally. And the thing to realize, there is a deck for everything, right? It really is. Like I look back at Apple's ad campaigns for the iPhone, and they literally took full page ads to teachers what apps were. And they literally had a full description of a weather app, and a full description of a map, and a full description of a calendar app. And so it taught us all these things. And Apple's been telling us there's an app for that, there's an app for that, there's an app for that. So we know that now, right? Literally, there's a deck for that. Because if there's knowledge, that knowledge can be distilled, simplified, and packaged up as a deck, as a short form, snackable thing, right? And whether you're into business, coaching, tarot, oracle, creativity, play, there's a deck for that. And that's compelling, right? And there's lots of people who've recognized this, right? It's the very successful book, right? That's available as a deck, right? With basically the ideas of the book distilled. So you read this book and think, oh, it's going to change my life. Probably not going to, because you're going to read the next book and forget all about this. But if you buy the deck, open it up and choose a card and follow that, you're going to actually put these into action in your life, right? And this is all about habit forming, right? I mean, that's to me the biggest idea with Deckable is about daily practice. And daily practice applies to the workplace just as much as personal. Your daily practice with your team is like, what are we feeling today? Let's draw. If you teach everyone, if you build a culture where people are more open to communication, and card decks are wonderful for that, there's a role for card decks in every day in the workplace. And there's a role for personal growth and reflection, right? So it's this fascinating stuff.